Good afternoon, everybody, in the YTPC. This is Pipe Hooligan, and I'm back with another blending video. Inspiration comes in waves for me. I was having a conversation earlier this week with Jay Furman, with Mike Murphy from Pipe and Tamper. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine named Tor, a friend of mine named Eric, a friend of mine named James, and they started talking about different things, and what people don't realize is that these simple conversations lead to the next thing. So as I was talking to him, I kept thinking about uh, another VaPer that I wanted to try. It's a 7 ingredient VaPer, so it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a very nuanced blend, and I wanted to do that live on camera. I've got the blend from yesterday already in, and here I am, free time on my hands, and we're going to make another blend. So here we go. So the first that is going in this is it's a whole leaf called lemon leaf. When I was talking to my friend Tor the other day, he had gotten some of it and said, it's really got kind of a zesty, citrusy note to it, and I kind of like it. And I've had this sitting in a jar for a while, and I thought, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and whip this out, and we're going to get started on making a blend with it. So the first ingredient in this will be Virginia lemon leaf. So, and it goes into the other bowl. It's kind of hidden at the moment, but we'll get to it in a second. Next up on this is VA Red. It's another whole leaf Virginia product. And I'm not wearing gloves today because it doesn't let me have a very good feel on moisture content. And this is just a blend for me anyway, so it's just me playing. I really like it. It may go into the Southern Forge line, but as of right now, this is just something for me to make. So we've got the amount of that we want in. And then one of the whole leaves, it looks like when you get it, like it's like, oh, toaster shakens. They sent you the absolute bottom of the barrel of this Virginia leaf. But what really makes this BF stand out is that it's got just a wonderful flavor, but the yield on it is terrible. You get a pound of it, and maybe you get 10 to 12 ounces because it's just broken up, it's crumpled. Like I said, it looks like toaster shakings. So you just kind of live with what you get. But again, it does have a great flavor to it. Really like it. And we're going to see how it does in this blend. And again, as always, we are on top of wax paper. Bowls have been cleaned and sterilized. Again, this is for me, so I'm not as finicky about the gloves and touching it. And it gives me a pretty good idea of the moisture content of the blend as I'm putting it together. This is the Red Virginia 515 RC1. It's got a really interesting kind of a vinegary note to it. Some people have compared it to McClelland's Red Virginia. I've never had the Red Virginia from McClelland, so I can't really say. I just have to go by what people tell me. I really like it. It's excellent. And then long cut Virginia. A little bit of that in there. Not too much. I like this. This is a little sweeter. Red Virginia. And I put too much in. I put too much? Yeah, just a hair. The joys of blending at home. Periodically, you have to. There we go. And to make this one just a little different, I want to throw a little Green River Black Cavendish in it to maybe push the sweetness over the top. And plus, I like how it looks. When you put the light and dark contrast, especially between the yellow leaf, the lemon leaf, and some of the others, it gives it a very nice color contrast, gives it a very sharp jar appeal, and I like how Green River has a natural sweetness to it. I am not one for adding stuff to my blends. I like tobacco for being tobacco. And last but not least in our list of fun things to put in here, a little dark fired Kentucky, because in Virginia blends you need something to cool it down. I love how dark fire does in VaPer blends. From the ESF line, Port Marion has a percentage of dark fired Kentucky, and it really kind of sets it off as a very special one. And then, as always, to make it a VaPer, just a dash of Perique. And if those of you that are blending at home, Perique is now apparently in short supply, and I'm not sure why that is. But Smoking Pipes and Pipes.com were both out of it this morning when I placed an order, so I'm a little disappointed. It doesn't say back ordered. Some of my blends that have Red Cavendish are in trouble. Red Cavendish has not been available anywhere since about August. That was the last time I was able to get my hands on it. I've looked everywhere for it. It's just not readily available at this point, and can't find it. And this has a just magnificent tin note. To help out a little bit, I've changed the lighting in the room, made it a little lighter. Here in Tiny House Living, I have a southern facing window for my office, and you can see all my jars are uncovered. During the day, I typically keep them covered with a blanket, but the blanket doesn't look like a real attractive background, although there's enough junk in the background anyway. But it also makes it easier for me to get to the blenders when they're not covered with a blanket. But with southern exposure, the left side of me, which I think is on the right side of your screen, gets all the sunlight. So I've got a light here on my left to try to balance it out, but it's not working very well. I am obviously not a video expert. So let's see if we can get you guys to see. Let's see if we can move this light in a little closer. You know, really nice colors in this. You know, it's a very vibrant looking blend. Has, just like I said, a spectacular tin note. You know, there's not a ton of Perique, there's not a ton of dark fired, so the Virginias are really shining through in it. I think this will be a good one. And I am of the opinion that VaPers and Virginia blends are better pressed. It starts the aging process on them. It gets the flavors to meld a little more quickly, and I just think it's a better way to do it. So I typically like to press. Now, I am going to put some of this aside in a small jar just to smoke it ribbon cut, because I'm also impatient at times and want to see what it's like as a ribbon cut. But I think it will be much better pressed. And for those of you that don't know, or may not want to know, you're going to find out anyway. All of my blends are named after Scottish, Irish, and Welsh and English villages. It's just a thing at this point. I've kind of covered it in other videos, but I kind of like it because their town names are interesting. And I like to watch people struggle to pronounce things. It's just a selfish, childish thing. So the blend that I made yesterday for Eric is in the press. I actually opened up the press today just because I wanted to check the tin note after about 24 hours of pressing, and it was an excellent press. I think that that's going to hit the mark for Eric. But this one is really, I think, going to be something special. So let's get a press out. Never-ending supply of presses. And we'll get a handy-dandy measuring scoop. And so that you know, there is a waste factor when you press. Sometimes when you press, I don't wrap it in wax paper or anything else. It's just in the stainless steel tube. I found that when I pressed it with wax paper, the wax paper, if you left it for a couple of days, leaches a little bit. So that when it gets moist, when you're pressing it, and the oil, all the oils combined, the wax paper will stick a little bit, and I don't want the film from the wax paper in my tobacco, if that makes sense. It's not that I'm, I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, but it's a personal preference for me more than anything. So, all right, let's get this in the press. Get the light back up. You guys can watch it going in. Too much. Alright, so that'll give us a good pressing on this. And again, I don't like to press in these particular presses. Yes, I've pressed 3. Yes, I've pressed 3.5 ounces. I don't like how it performs at that level. It takes a little bit longer to press. I don't think the compression is as good. I mean, this is not a 10,000 ton hydraulic press. It's just not. It's just a simple screw in, and the pressure that exerts, I just think works best on anything less than 2.5 ounces. So I go for 2.2 in every one of my pucks, or 2.15. And again, because of the way sometimes it sticks, and when you pull it apart, what sticks to the top and bottom of the press, I typically don't put that in a jar, just because it doesn't look very appealing. I think half of tobacco smoking sometimes is just how stuff looks. Again, we're down to just the last little bit of this 3-ounce sample. Again, looks really, really, just has a really nice golden color. The dark fire, the Perique, and the little bit of Cavendish that's in it sets it off. And again, I think it has a wonderful tin note. And I'm very excited about it. And again, this is just information. This is just a blend that came from talking to people. When people want to chat about blending, I love to, because it spawns new ideas. There's as Jimmy Buffett so eloquently said, there's a limit on creativity. And when I get stuck in my own head, sometimes I don't look at things as objectively as I should, and these conversations really help. So if anybody ever wants to talk about blending, you can message me on Instagram. You can send me a note at emersonsouthern@yahoo.com. You can connect with me on Facebook at Emerson Southern Forge. Any way that you'd like to communicate is more than fine with me, and I'm happy to talk to anyone that would like to about blending. Okay, this video has gone over 12, almost 13 minutes now. It's a little bit longer than I like to go. Thank you all so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it, and we will talk to you on the next one.